sticky affair. Oh, Phoenix. Any other choice of words. Hello, and welcome back to Apollo Justice, episode 6, and we're not even through the first case. That's why I love this case. It's just very robust. You know, it's kind of like, it is a tutorial, but it's also very critical to just the whole tone of the case. It's kind of like Trials and Tribulations in that regard. So I love this as a sequel to the original trilogy. Oh, by the way, I apologize for the sirens, which you've definitely heard. Again, I live in East London. The sirens are just a feature. But yeah, no, let's just jump right into it. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shadi Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. So I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And that's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin.
Mr. Gavin, you were at the Bushbowl Club the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. And I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial? The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice.
Sir! He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. Oh, this can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Oh, baby, you're an ace attorney. There ain't no such thing. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying the usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano.
I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So, the plates and such on the table were from your dinner?
Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, and then Christoph left. After that...
Hold it!
5 minutes! So, the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shadi Smith may have met?
I believe I did say that.
Here I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall?
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Oh, it would be, if that were really all that happened. Come on, Mr. Wright! What are you hiding this time? About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned.
The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut.
You swapped the cards!
Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Yes, a harmful prank, in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted! Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game.
Disposed? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice?
The murder weapon!
Yes! Oh! Just thought I would do my impression of you, Mr. Gavin. Look at this.
Yes! I rolled it up and shoved it in.
Do you see how good I am, Mr. Gavin?
That doesn't sound like me at all!
Oh, it sounds exactly like you, Mr. Gavin. The colored glass makes it hard to see.
A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That does sound like terrific drama.
A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look.
Mr. Wright, the pokerhead of courtroom number 3, approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information.
I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. So I think it's fairly obvious what we're supposed to do. I am going to just keep pressing the...
Why in the bottle?
I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. And I'm used to entrapment, you see. And I knew what was coming.
Ho, so you struck first. I like that.
I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me.
At least, when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. It's a good thing he sticks his hand in his pocket for literally all of the times I've ever seen him. Like, what's in there? Is it a TARDIS? Has he got a TARDIS in there? I don't think he does.
What am I saying?
You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct?
Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout.
Was anyone else on the first floor at the time?
Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone.
And when you returned, the victim was already...
Dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked by.
A little?
He was bleeding from his forehead after all.
I guess I'd be startled too, if I walked in on a scene like that. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin?
I'd obviously gotten in a rather sticky affair. Oh, Phoenix. Any other choice of words, and with Christoph involved as well, and I figured Christoph's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Ah, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high.
Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about?
Justice, you know what you have to do. He is lying. Expose him. Now.
Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere.
Okay. Discover the trap during the game. Suppose I'm gonna call the bottle. Let's just do a quick savey wavy. Alright. Well, let's have a look in here first of all. Ain't no card.
The bottle is completely empty.
Well, guess we gotta do it.
Mr. Wright, if I may.
Yes?
I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here.
No?
What, Mr. Wright? Surely isn't all you have to say for yourself?
I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however.
Huh?
Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out? Oh, and the sixth person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So, what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear?
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh,
Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the victim. The victim? It's just you as a Freudian slip. I mean, it's a regular slip. I've no reason to feel guilty, because it's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO.
oh, why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore?
Okay. Throws the card in the bottle. Alrighty, let's do another quick savey wavy. Term is dead, streaming from a cut on his forehead. Is that so? What's this about?
Mr. Wright, if I may,
Yes?
take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead.
Good point. Justice! Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head.
You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head?
He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph.
And?
I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head.
What? Why'd you do something like that?
All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene.
So, Miss Orley didn't see it. It being the victim's, or his head.
I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again.
Mr. Gavin?
Pardon. It just seems like our client is determined to lie his way through this case.
Hey, he's still our client, isn't he?
I believe that's enough of that.
Mr. Gavin?
This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone?
Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never!
Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
A reason?
That reason is right here.
Your cell phone?
That night, recall that I spoke with the defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Do you mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me, please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Man, Christoph is just, he just can't say a regular sentence. Like, really, his one fault is just how fucking verbose he is, you know? I understand that. It's easy to incriminate yourself when you're trying to use every single word possible to sound super fancy. So, it said bone china pate, right? I thought... okay, it did say bone china pate, I'm sure of it.
Bone china plate?
A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead.
The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead.
Oh, that's Gooby.
Wait a second, something's not right about that phone call. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club.
Most certainly.
Then, how did he know? When did he see this bone china plate?
Oh, that's right!
Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's back. The victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix, right?
Oh, so much sexual tension in this room. Like, damn.
Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne,
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, as the prosecutor, I...
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well, this will be the final recess for the day.
Oh, final recess, baby. We're getting into it. End game for case 1. Have you guys been enjoying the case so far? Let me know in the comments. It's a really fun case. I think of all the case 1s, it's this and like Trials and Trib, which I think really hold up. The fact that they tie into the wider story, they introduce characters and the tone and themes, and they're also funny, but also like hit hard, and there's a lot of mystery, a lot of suspense and intrigue. It's just, it's Ace Attorney, you know? Like, I fucking love it. It's so good.
Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who would have thought today would turn out like this?
May I?
Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
What's this all about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
An ace. Where do I remember that card from?
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true, I have seen it, the 5th ace. That was cheating, I swear to you.
Can you see the writing on the bottom, cop cam? Wow, I'm not doing so well in my my vocabulary today. Capcom Osaka, Japan. Can you see it? It's so cool, right? Wait, how do I get rid of the... Is it L1? Ah, triggers. Yeah. And then I think that's 2007? At the year at the bottom? Volume 8. I wonder what that means. Is it because they made the 3 games on the GBA? And no, that would be Volume 7 then. Unless Ace Attorney Investigations had come out at this point. Either way, very cool.
The missing 5th ace! Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently. But where? I mean, she explicitly said that she was Mr. Wright's daughter. And then she gave me a card that could only have been for Mr. Wright. And she looks identical to the locket in Mr. Wright's neck. But who could she be? That's when I made the connection.
Oh, what a cutie.
Bloody Ace added to the court record. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2.
Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Will the witness state his name and occupation?
Is this fast necessary, Your Honor?
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. I believe you recall when I mentioned a bird? There was literally a bird in this courtroom. I'm still incredulous. Like, he brought in a parrot, and it just kept squawking.
Polly!
I hear Polly in my sleep sometimes. Screaming.
What am I saying? Give me 1 second, viewers. I gotta give my cat a treat. Just give me 1 sec. Oh, Blue, you little goober. You're a little cucumber. Oh, she does this. She knocks down my books so that I know it's treat time. There you go, goober. There you go. Oh, I want to show you pictures of these bobs. Maybe at some point. If I ever do, like, cam footage, I will totally show you. And I have to give my other little kitty Lucky some treats now at the moment too. So why don't we take this as a brief interlude? How are y'all doing? Are you doing good? Doing good? How's your face? Is it a good face today? Good face day today? Remember to warm up your face. That's the thing. A lot of if you end up doing performance work, that's something that's so underrated, and that pretty much everywhere will kind of make you warm up your face. But it's also just really good for I don't know, being alive. It's nice having a warmed up face, you know? It's the kind of thing you can talk for 3 minutes about on an Ace Attorney video, and don't know if you should, but you could. You had enough treats, Baba? Yeah, I think they have. Okay, give me 1 sec to set back up. I've gotta undo my whole fucking mic setup to give these cats their little treats. Oh, okay. Alright, I think we're good to go. Fine, I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about this secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Let's go! Oh, the theme comes in! Oh, it's so good. Banger in the courtroom. Mate, let's go.
Mr. Wright!
What do you think you're doing, White? Wow. Things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time.
That one time being the instant he was hit.
Oh.
When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to been there in the hideout at the time of the crime.
In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Oh, so badass. Fucking love it. Yeah.
Mr. Gavin.
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What?
Oh, I assure you, I have the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. White. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you what happened, the truth of that night.
Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that faithful night?
Okay, I think we're gonna call it here, folks. It's, guys, heating up, innit? I mean, got Mr. Gavin on the stand. What do you think's gonna happen? Do you think our sweet P-boy is gonna have his plan unravel? Will Christoph see the light of day at the end of this trial? All of that next time! Oh, yeah, we're going to catch the last bit of the trial 1. I think we're going to be able to finish it next time. So be sure to tune in, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, share, do all the good things, keep being gay, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.